All right, what up? Leonidas here. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create call ads, no site, and call ads with site. Who am I? Leonidas. I've been running a pay-per-call advertising since 2014. I'll show you one of my accounts. This is a manager account, and since 2022, at least in this manager account, I've ran at least $671,000. This was all my money that I spent on Google Ads in one single manager account. The kind of ads that we're going to create today are call ads. Now, keep in mind that call ads may be going away. So I'm going to split this tutorial into two parts. One is going to be where we only focus on call ads, and the other one is going to be where we focus on the new responsive search ads with call extension. So nonetheless, what does a call ad look like on Google Ads? Very simply, it says the title here at the top and then a brief description. So need fence repair, tap to call, whatever else you want, fast, reliable fence repair for residential and commercial, call now, and then the call extension button. So on a call ad no site, this will not be clickable, but on a call ad with site, this link is clickable. And then we're essentially going to create those. So I'm going to show you briefly the outline of our process. So here's our process of how we're going to learn call ads. Quickly explain call ads. If someone taps in on your advertisement on Google Ads, they will go directly into a phone call. Then we're going to dive into Google Ads. I'll explain to you the interface. We're going to create our campaign, and I'm going to explain to you how to create zip codes as well as convert those zip codes into locations for where we want to target our advertising. And I'll quickly summarize how to add audiences. So if you want to target very particular people, then we're going to create our call ads no sites and call ads with site. And then we're also going to append our conversion tracking. And then finally, I'm going to show you some of my call ad conversion data, just so you know what it looks like. Obviously obfuscated because I'm still running these ads constantly. And then finally review. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so once we are in our Google Ads account, two things you need to know. One is our menus here. This is something you might learn over time if you're a total beginner, or something you know by memory, it's in your dreams. And then we're gonna go ahead and create our new campaign. So that's the second thing we need to do. New campaign. I'm gonna go over this very simply because this is basic stuff. If you need to rewatch, because there's gonna be a two-part tutorial, we're gonna create a campaign without guidance. We're gonna go into search. And these are all the conversions I've already created for this particular account, but don't worry about them. If this is your first time creating your account, you might not see these, so don't worry about that. And we're going to continue. And we're going to do phone calls. And here I'm going to put my phone number. All right, there's the phone number we're going to use. If you call that, you'll get a nice, beautiful message from Leonidas. We're going to hit a continue, and we're going to name our campaign. I'm going to show you my naming convention. So in this case, we're going to be targeting fence repair. Okay, so FENC, right? If you want to target plumbers, what I like to usually do is just take 4 letters from the word itself and use that. Roofing is ROOF. We can do pest control, which is pest. We can do siding, which is side. In this case, we'll do fence. Then we'll do call ad no site. So that's what we're going to do. We can add the type of bidding strategy that we're going to use. So in this case, what I recommend for total beginners is that you simply do max clicks. Okay, this is the first time you've created the ads. You have no traffic in your Google Ads account. You have no conversions. You have to do max clicks until Google starts to understand what you're looking for. Okay, so don't worry about it. Just make sure you have max clicks if this is your first time. And then bidding strategy, we're going to go ahead and clicks. We want to set obviously a max click. So in the US, clicks are very expensive, unfortunately, but we'll set a $4 range here. And then we'll hit next. Unchecked search partners and display network. Those are totally useless. We're going to enter our location. Here is something brand new. We're going to go into ChatGPT and we're going to type in Orange County, no, list 10 Orange County, California cities. Okay. And then in the form city, comma, United States. All right, beautiful. We'll take these. We'll copy those. And we're going to do advanced search, add locations in bulk, and simply do that. There, search, and then there we go. It highlighted all the cities there, and we can target those. So now They are all targeted. We're targeting these specific cities. And the reason that I do that is because I target the home services niche. So home services, someone needs to actually go to the location. So obviously you want to target within certain geographic areas. You can also do this in the same script as list 10 Orange County zip codes in the form zip code United States. So once you start getting a little bit more advanced, typically the company you work for has certain zip codes that they service. So we're going to copy those and paste them in, search, and then target all as well. There we go. So now we have zip codes and cities both at the same time. Obviously they're overlapping, but for this tutorial, not important. Languages, English. You can also target Spanish. The US has a huge Spanish demographic, which is completely underserved for the home services niche. Then we're going to go into add schedule and set our ad schedule here from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Right? This is according to my time zone. So in this case, it would be Eastern Standard Time. And then more settings, pretty much everything else we do not need. We're going to skip this because we don't need AI to generate our keywords, unless of course you want to. If you're a total beginner, you can use it, but I typically skip. And here we're going to enter some keywords. So in this case, we're going to go back to our ChatGPT and we're going to do list 10 Orange County cities in the form United States, but in this case, city and fence repair. All right, here's the keywords we're going to target. Now, when we start going much more in depth, this is actually not the typical format that I would recommend, but nonetheless, for beginner purposes, we're going to use those. Once we start going into more advanced content, I'll actually show you how to formulate these better so you don't start getting really irrelevant phone calls. And then finally, with our final URL, we want to actually skip this because this is making us create a responsive search ad. So we're going to skip this and hit next. There we go. Set budget. We're going to set it to $4. All right. Everything here is good to go and publish campaign. Boom. All right. So typically I do not look at this dashboard. I completely ignore this part, but we're going to go back into our campaigns here and within our campaigns. So you can either go to the top level here, or at the very top here, you can also select which campaign you want to select directly. Or once again, within your top level, you can also click on the campaign here. So here we go. We'll click on that. And one thing that's totally missing from our campaign is, so here we go, campaign. We have ad groups. And when you go into the ad group, you should show ads. We'll go into ads and we don't have any ads. So let's make some ads. I'm going to hit click add or call ad. And then we're going to plug in our phone number once more. I like to put dashes in between the numbers, but of course there's various variations. You can also do the bracket, etc. But typically I recommend spacing the numbers out for better readability. And here we need to put a verification URL. So here we need to put the URL where our phone number is located. This is for Google Ads to know that this is your phone number and your business that you're advertising. In this case, I already have the page set up, ppcbasic.com/verification, I believe it's numbers. So the page should be here and PPC verification numbers. So you can see on this page, you can put as many phone numbers as you want. Let's say you're running multiple offers, plumbing, roofing, health insurance, auto insurance, whatever you want. Make sure to have the phone numbers here. And then we'll go back and then, okay. So that's phone numbers there, 35. Yep. And then for the display path, I like to put tap to call or call now. And then we'll do keyword insertion, fence repair. Right. So keyword insertion implies that when someone types in Anaheim fence repair or New York fence repair or Chicago fence repair, then this section gets replaced by that keyword. So instead of it saying need fence repair, it'll say need Anaheim fence repair, need Chicago fence repair, right? Headline 2, technically it's completely irrelevant. You can put whatever you want here because it usually doesn't show in your ad. Most important for Google Ads is headline number one. Headline number one is what makes your ad hyper relevant to the person who's searching for it. If you don't have the keyword in headline number one, you're less likely to be ranked in the top tier, but maybe you don't want to be ranked in the top tier. Maybe you want a couple positions down to avoid getting branded clicks. So that's another topic. Anyways, a business name. In this case, I recommend you put the website URL address where you're advertising for, or you can just simply do National Home Services. There we go. And then a description. We won't go into too much depth here. I'll simply copy and paste that and then call 24/7 customer care available, fast service, 24/7 service available, and whatever, call now. For beginner purposes, this is what we're going to focus on. Okay. And then conversion action, we're going to build that in a moment. URL tracking, everything here is good to go. All right. So if you are doing advanced call tracking, this is the URL suffix that I typically like to post in. I'll quickly explain this. Here we have the service type. So in this case, I'll replace it with fence. And then we have the keyword we're targeting. So in this case, it'll be filled with Anaheim fence repair. And then the Google location. Google will pass us the location of the person visiting our landing page. Finally, we have our Google interest. These will be relevant if we're running it to a landing page, but we can keep this here for later because we're simply going to duplicate the ad with the URL added as well. So we'll hit save new ad, and there we go. So when we edit, we can see our ad. It's nice and beautiful. And then obviously when someone types in Anaheim fence repair, they will see the ad. Now that it's done, it's going to go into pending review, and then we simply have to wait a couple hours, maybe a day or so, depending on how fresh your account is, for this to be eligible to view. And if we want to see what the ad looks like, we'll hit edit. And then here, you can see what our ad will look like. It'll show the phone number and then the title and the description. So in a call ad no site, a CANS, you will only be able to click on the call extension. On a call ad with site, they will go into a landing page as well. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna hit cancel here. So now we're gonna duplicate the campaign because call ads no site and call ads with site function differently. So here we're gonna click on our ad here. We're gonna select the little checkbox here. We're gonna hit edit, copy, and then we're gonna do paste and paste. All right, once the process is done, all we have to do is refresh the page. And we'll go to our top level campaigns here. And you can see that our ad has been duplicated right there, max clicks. So I'm gonna actually pause these just so we don't get confused. If it says your campaign has no ads, just wait a little bit. It'll refresh eventually. And then here we'll do call ads with site. So CAWS. And we're gonna go into our ad group. And then we're gonna go into our ads. And then we're gonna go into edit. And then our final URL, we're gonna put our actual landing page. So I'm going to show you which landing page I use. Here we go, ppcbasic.com/fence. Okay, so this is our fence repair hotline page. And if you've seen my other tutorials, you'll see certain things that are happening here. So for example, you can see the date time of the person that's visiting. So if you visit this page, you're going to see your date and time. You're going to see your city. You can see a nice, beautiful AI generated image here. You'll see a map of your location, and we'll scroll down, right? So go ahead and visit this page and give this number a call if you'd like. And so we're going to copy this page. We're going to go back to our ad here, and we're going to paste that as our final URL. Okay. So what will happen now is if they click on your ad, they will have the option to not only make a phone call, but also visit your website. Now, these types of ads convert less for phone calls than call only ads, but these types of ads also have the potential for getting more traffic. Or let's say you want to get the people going to your landing page as well. And then in this case, what happens is the final URL suffix does ultimately get tracked. Okay, so if we pass the Google location ID, we can see where the person is coming from and pass that to our call tracking parameter, or we can show it on our landing page. So if I append this here to the landing page URL, ampersand Google lock equals. All right, so the number is 9019576. And if I type that in, Google lock equals, there we go, boom. It'll show this location, Big Lake, Minnesota, and then area serviced, Big Lake, Minnesota. Beautiful. All right, let's go back to our ads. And once again, this ad will have the opportunity for them to click on the website as well as make a phone call. Save new version. All right, beautiful. Now, final thing we want to do is obviously we want to track call conversions. So we're going to go back to our main page, to our main Google Ads page, and we're going to go into goals and then conversions and then summary. So once you're on your conversion page, you can see some of the conversions that I've created. Here, I'm tracking not only the calls from ads. So in this case, any call that goes through, whether it's 1 second, 2 seconds, anything like that, that's considered a conversion, as well as I'm tracking calls that are greater than 5 minutes, as well as calls that are greater than 10 minutes. This is a much more advanced topic because we have to set up some backend stuff to implement that. But for beginner purposes, let's go ahead and create a new conversion action. We're going to do phone calls here. We're going to do calls from ads using call acids or call ads, and then hit continue. And then call extension. Then we'll do a call conversion of, let's say, 60 seconds. So we're simply tracking if the call is over 60 seconds. Now, the classic way of doing this is to simply put a value, a static value. So let's say you make $30 per phone call. Someone calls in, you make $30. So we'll set it like that. Or even actually for fencing, I believe it would be probably around the $50 mark. So if someone calls in and they last 60 seconds on the phone, you get paid $50. And then hit create and continue. So once the conversion has been created, we can scroll down and we can see that our call extension, 60 seconds, has been created. Actually, let's rename this to append a monetary value. So we'll do, just for clarification, we'll do $50 per 60 seconds. There we go. Much better naming convention. And then we'll hit done. And then we'll go back and we can see that our new call extension has been created. Call conversion extension, call extension conversion has been created, and it's under phone call lead. Okay, so we're going to go back to our campaigns and we're going to basically, there's 3 ways of doing this. One is to go into the campaign settings and then go into conversion goals. We're going to select campaign specific and then select phone call lead because it's under our phone call lead category. That's method number 1. Here's method number 1B, where you can do it in bulk. So let's say you have multiple campaigns, you want to quickly adjust the call conversions. So we'll select edit and update conversion goals. We're going to change it to campaign specific. And once again, phone call leads. And the final method is to go into the ads themselves. So I clicked on the campaign here, and then we'll go into the ad, and then we're going to edit this. And at the very bottom here, we have conversion action. And then we're going to set that basically to our call extension conversion. So this is method number 3. Technically, I like to set it on the campaign level, because then let's say you have hundreds of ads. The last thing you want to do is continuously edit it on the ad level itself. You want to blanket it on the campaigns that you're using. So we'll simply select call extension, and there we go, save new version. All right, so once our campaigns are created, we also want to add some audiences to them, right? So we'll go into our campaign here, and we'll go into the menu, and we'll go into audiences. Now, audiences are basically what Google builds, like a box of people based on your search terms. So if you are looking for plumbers into Google, right away you're put into one of these boxes, and technically your ads will only show to those people in those boxes. right? So, and they're called audience segments. So in this case, we're going to add an audience segment. We're going to go into campaign. And in this case, we'll do home renovations, right? Interior design, home decor. None of these seem relevant for someone needing fence repair, maybe home and garden, or we can also select homeowners. If they have a home, they are most likely to be interested in your ads, and we'll save it. So we'll hit save, and the audience segments are here. In this case, we're simply observing them, but if we only wanted to target them, we can edit it and target. But the difference between targeting and observation is that targeting specifically targets the people that fall under these two boxes, while observation is people can fall under any box. Google will show your ads to everybody, but it'll also tell you if that person is relevant to these particular two. So in this case, we'll say it's targeting. All right, so that concludes that part. We have the conversion set up, and the final thing that I promise you is that I'm going to show you some conversion data. So let's go ahead into just one of my accounts. So here we have one of my accounts. The data is the last 30 days. On the left side here, you have the campaigns. We have our click-through rates, impressions, costs, average cost per click, conversions, cost per conversion, and conversion value. I'm going to obfuscate some of this information because I'm still running these campaigns actively. We're going to scroll down, and you can see that some of them have mobile clicks to call. So in some cases, they converted from simply clicking on the call extension. Some of them converted by visiting the website, whether it ultimately led them into a phone call or making a phone call from the website itself. We'll scroll all the way down now. And at the very bottom, we can filter by campaigns. So the mobile clicks to call for all the campaigns that I'm showing you, the cans and the cause. And in this case, you can see that the cost per conversion for someone that clicks on the call extension is less than the cost per conversion if someone clicks on the website. So ultimately, your mission is to target the payouts that obviously pay more than the cost per conversion. In later tutorials, I'll break this down even more, but for now, this is what the inside of our data will ultimately look like once you start getting traffic into your account. So let's go ahead now and conclude. So in conclusion, we quickly covered what are call ads. Then we jump right into our Google Ads interface to basically create them. We created our first campaign. We used ChatGPT to generate some cities for us, some zip codes for us, as well as the keywords for us. This is obviously a very beginner method, but nonetheless very efficient. And then we added our audiences. So you simply go into the campaigns and you add your audiences that you want to hyper target. And then we created our ads, which would be the cans and the cause ads. We appended our conversion tracking. Finally, I showed you some of the conversion data from one of my accounts, and then obviously a review. So Leonidas here. If you enjoyed that video, make sure to like and subscribe. Keep in mind that call ads may be going away this year. You should be doing both of these types of ads as well as the responsive search ads that I will be showing you in the next tutorial. Nonetheless, Leonidas here. Subscribe, check out the plugin in the description, and there's going to be a course coming out very soon. So check out the description of this video. Salud.